My project today is to, if I can get rid of this picture, I'm going to paint this photograph or this scene that I took in my local allotment. I want to capture this wonderful pavilion, trees in the background, and something of the paraphernalia that we have on the allotments, all the little sheds and raised beds and bins and fruit cages and everything. But I'd like to make a point of capturing some detail on this pavilion, which was constructed by a group of allotmenteers from a salvaged little shed in somebody's back garden. And rather have it burned, they reassembled it pretty much the way it was, with a few additional items, but a nice little scene. And here we have apple trees that recently planted. In the future they're going to be beautiful, so I think I'll have to add a little bit of blossom on these, a little bit of artistic license, although some of the apple trees off just out of shot are actually starting to get some blossom, so we'll get on with that now. As you can see, I've done a light pencil sketch of some of the features, so I want to try and be fairly accurate with this, so I'll probably have to use thin paint, and I usually paint in an impressionistic style, but I want to try and get some degree of accuracy with this. So I need to try and be a little bit more controlled and a little tighter background. Oh, I'm just trying to adjust my camera so I can get that. What am I doing? You can cancel, switch background, diffuse. Right. Cadmium yellow pale hue. I think I'll put something in there, just a small amount for the time being. Here we are, yellow ochre. Bit of yellow ochre down there, and then some umber. Get a little umber there. Show you my palette. Down there. So I've got some. I'll zoom up a little bit so you can see the colours there. And now I've got some raw sienna, haven't I? Raw sienna. Burnt umber. I've got that one in. Yellow ochre or umber. Let's have a little bit of, well, we've got some crimson alizarin there, a little bit of orange, bit of cadmium. I think we ought to get some greens in. I've got a couple of different greens. I've got permanent sap green. Well, we have a little bit of that because I've got quite a lot of green in the foreground of the reference photograph. Then I've got some olive green. So sap and olive, we'll put them in the same area. I think this is a very old bit of olive here. It's rather stiff, and getting it out of the tube there. Never mind. All these paints have a different consistency, really, depending on what they're... And of course this one I've got is phthalo green. You have to be very careful with this one. But I've just recently started using it, and with a little bit of yellow to it, it can get some nice greens. There's so many greens. It's the most difficult colour to really use in nature, because there's so many different colours, different shades of green. One tends to think, oh, it's green, but no. When you get to try and paint them, you'll see there are a variety. So I think let's get cracking with a little gentle wash. Make up a little mixture of, I think, umber, bit of umber there, so, and a little bit of yellow ochre. Let's try and go to wash in, I think, something. Let's move my camera up a little bit so you can see there. Zoom in a little bit closer. There. Let's turn it down a bit. Of dark greens, and of course what I failed to put out is some blue. Of course I need to, that's the way to make a green nice and dark, is to put a bit of blue to it. It's going anyway. It's a little bit there. I'm going to try and paint a little less thick than I normally do. So I've got to still use some mixture here, so I'm using some raw sienna to give me a slightly different mixture or colour for this bank of trees out here. Going to have a dark under the hedges, so I'm trying to establish that, really, to make them appear more distant. You have to cool it down sometimes with white. White always cools a colour down. So it's about getting the relative values. Palette, or sometimes on your painting you can blend some of them, the colours, as you go on the canvas, or as you do this. That's some of our green in here. lemon yellow. And there's some mowed pathway, it comes along here, so I want to delineate that when I'm down the road a little bit, as opposed to the longer grass. Path comes like this along here. Let me think. Yes. It's a good idea to squint your eyes sometimes and see where the darks and light should be. And then there's the dark passage here. Let's put a bit of blue in that green. A little bit of burnt umber. And a bit of olive, a bit more blue. It was just, this actually is a, no, that's not very good. Let's get some more green, bit of phthalo in there. Like that. And another little bit of light green, path coming in there, like that. There's a little too much light showing there, I think. Intensity. Well, I'm back after the battery died on me, and you can see that I've pressed on with some blocking in, got the shed or this end of the all the shed done, and a little bit of paddock area, and this little shed here, another one behind there. So the question is, how do I get the rest of these in? Done a little bit of work on here to create some interest, a lighter path along there, and to try and show some sense of direction. But I'll put in the trees as I go a little bit later, but I think I need to get in some more of this pavilion, as it's something of a feature that I want to make sure I get, because it is a very attractive feature, no doubt. So what do? I think I'll go get a nice bluey kind of grey, really. And I've got some Payne's grey, and I think if I mix it just here, you might see it with a little bit of blue, mix it up there, I don't know if you could see that. No, I'm focused up on the panel, so I'm going to try and get this in accurately as I can. A small brush. So we've got something of the shape of the pavilion. I will put some darker colours, I think, try and get some of the ridges on it. As we go. And some little highlights on the top of the roof as well. Let's get some serious dark in there. Right, and then we can put some darks in here, I think. A barrel there. And I saw another barrel somewhere else as well. All sorts of... Where is that other barrel? Ah. I think there was one here. Let's get some darker. Get that in. Right. Oh yes, I think we need to put some light green in here. Just to the left of that little green shed, there is a nice spring green plant. A little tree of some sort, so let's get my brush as clean as I can and we'll get a nice hint of something nice and bright there. With a little pinch of phthalo green. It's a little bit too severe. A little bit more ochre to tone it down a little bit. And then we can so let's green it up a bit, a little darker, a little yellow ochre, a bit of phthalo, a little bit of ultramarine. See if that darkens it up a little bit, don't you think? Yeah. Try to create a variety of colours as well. I put a darker colour next to the lighter, it will emphasize the light a little better. So if you want to show a line, lay a bit of darker colour. Now, what can I put in here? Elements anyway. Well, we're back again. I had a problem not only running out of battery, but I ran out of card space on my camera. So I've had to delete the earlier passages that I filmed, but so I've got on with the painting here and pretty much finished it. You can see the pavilion, got the different, this nice sort of green on the side here, got some nice darks in here, and the shadow that the eaves are giving there, dark under the sleepers here, a couple of tables, and also got a few sheep actually, if anybody can catch them there. And we've got the beginnings of this apple orchard, which I mentioned. Got a few trees, young trees growing now, a little hint of blossom which is coming on some of them. And here we've got a couple of allotment here. We've got one here next to this shed, and we've got another one there, and we might have somebody in there too. There's in that chair that I've put there. So I've also added more texture and tried to get some sense of the two pathways that have been somewhat more flatter and mowed down a little bit, and varying colours. A little bit of work on the trees again, trying to get those right. Also we've got the, I think it's looking a bit washed out with the lights I've got at the moment, but we've actually got a nice cloud in here. There's sorry cloud, a little purple under there, just to give a little bit of shadow. But anyway, there we have it, the allotment in my local area, and showing all the confusion, and I've had to simplify it to some extent, of course. It's quite extensive, probably maybe some more there, and certainly some off out of frame to the right here, and even behind us here there's more of this little immature apple orchard starting to grow. I think they've got about 15 different types of apple, so they're going to be something special in the future. So anyway, I hope you like it. It's on a 10 by 12 inch canvas panel. So I think I've got more to do on this allotment. There's so many interesting things to see there.